Joey Van Zummer here at Mizzou Arena for Missouri Tigers on SI, where Missouri just lost to number 19 Kentucky to end their regular season. A 3-game losing streak for Missouri to end this season, or this regular season at least. Just a odd fall off from just a few weeks ago where they were able to take down number 4 Alabama, score 110 points on them. However, we did start to see the cracks in that Alabama game where the defense just really wasn't able to connect. And we just kind of attributed that to, going up against a high-powered offense like Alabama. But in these last 3 games, those issues have continued to appear. They're sending teams to the free throw line a lot more often, not getting to the free throw line as much themselves, which they were so good at early on in the season. So a lot of things to watch as we head into this postseason here. Missouri either finishing 7th or 8th in the SEC, depending on how things shake up for the rest of these games today. So let's talk about the first half in this one. Just a odd kind of a few dips in this one. Missouri starts off pretty hot defensively, I would say. They're really focused on the paint, where Oklahoma in the last game on Wednesday really attacked them at. And then Kentucky really took those opportunities on the perimeter. 5 of Kentucky's first makes in the game were on 3-point shots. They were really focusing on that. Kentucky coach Mark Pope said that they were focused not on what Missouri was presenting them defensively, which they found rattling, but really just Kentucky themselves playing better defensively to help them get into the game.
We were pretty rattled offensively, and it's a credit to Missouri, man. They don't lose here. They have a terrific team. I'm maybe the world's #1 Dennis Gates fan. I think he's really special, and after what this crew went through last year, for them to respond this year is pretty amazing. And they had us really uncomfortable on the offensive end to start the game. And so I was really proud of our guys, because we talked about it in the timeouts, like, hey, it's okay, because our defense is going to keep us afloat. And for us to be able to, in that run, to just be able to trust our defense, trust it, that, like, we know we don't feel great on the other side of the ball. We will eventually get there, but for these guys to step up and make tough physical plays on the defensive end and kind of keep us alive was incredibly encouraging.
And that ultimately came to fruition for Kentucky when they were able to force Missouri into a over 4-minute scoring drought. Kentucky scored 11 points in that moment there. It wasn't ended until Josh Gray slammed down a dunk. And really offensively throughout this game, I would say Missouri wasn't able to find that consistency, while Kentucky was. Shot really good from the 3-point line. Kentucky was. Missouri not as much. And Missouri kind of just trailing along. And again, those free throw opportunities really made the difference in this one, where in the second half, Missouri was bringing it within 6 points late in that game.
I see a different foul count. That's what I see. We were doing, how we won was on the foul line. The last 3 years of the SEC season, we were last place in drawing free throw fouls and shots. I did an entire research project on it. We were always, even my first season here, we were at the bottom half of that. So when we looked at this season, when I looked at our players and I saw the physicality and their talent, I said this is an area where this team will be able to improve. If we don't get to this foul line, execute at the foul line, we won't give ourselves a chance to win. If we are plus 10 in free throw shooting against opponents, we will win games. Now that has turned around, and you see teams living at the free throw line a little bit more.
In that second half, offensively, I thought Mark Mitchell put up some good minutes. Jacob Cruz and Marquez Warwick both made some clutch shots. Caleb Grill, this was a game you would expect him to really thrive in. Again, 2 for 6 on 3-point attempts for Caleb Grill. So again, some of the same things that we're seeing all throughout this kind of last stretch of the season here, continuing to come up for Missouri. Possibly a red flag depending on how you look on it, the fact that they can't be able to fix these, but they're going to have a little bit more of a break here heading into the SEC tournament in Nashville next week to try and fix these things. We know that they can play better than this. We've seen it so many times throughout this season, and now it's just going to come to putting that together for 40 minutes again, getting back to that old form, which Marquez Warwick is not worried about Missouri being able to do.
How close do you guys feel like this team is to flipping these results back to where you were 3 weeks ago?
I think we're very close, and we all know that. But what Coach said, what we've been doing different is the foul count against the free throw line just hasn't been the same the past few games. So we know what to do. We're going to get back to that, but we're not discouraged at all. We're basically, like we said, starting another season, going to SEC play, SEC tournament. So we're right there.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what Quez said, and it's a game of inches. So we're not gonna get too down on ourselves, man. We're shoot a couple possessions from being like 3 losses in conference. So no discouragement. Always gonna get back to work. We know what we can do. We know the type of team we have, and we're just gonna keep working.
That's all here for us at Missouri Tigers on SI. For coverage for this regular season for Mizzou basketball, we hope you tune in to our coverage during the postseason.